It's a pretty cool and rainy weekend this weekend, and for some reason it's really making me miss Christmas. I'm totally in like the cozy fall, winter, Christmas mood, which I'm okay with, but I'm also sad because I really have like 7 months to wait. Soon, guys, it will soon be Christmas again. But that has nothing to do with today's video. Today we are going to be talking about the books I have purchased in May. Yes, we are only halfway through the month of May, but I know that I won't be really getting any more books this month, so I figured why not share with you guys my May book haul today. Hello everyone, it is Samantha and I hope you guys are having a great day today. I am here today to share with you guys the books I have received in May. I know I'm not going to be getting that many books because I don't really intend on buying anymore, and I don't think I'm going to be getting any more in mail from publishers or anything, so I figured I might as well share them with you guys. It's a pretty book heavy month. I purchased a lot more this month than I have in a while, and then I received quite a few from publishers, so I am excited about a lot of these books, so I can't wait to share them with you guys, so let us get started. So the first thing I have to show you guys is actually not a book per se, but it is a bookmark, and you guys know how much I love bookmarks, and it is this guy. I'm using it right now on this book. It's this little clip right here, and you clip it onto the cover of the book, and it's attached to this really cool ribbon, and then you can use it like a ribbon bookmark in your book. So you just clip it onto the cover, and then you can put the ribbon wherever your spot is in the book. I thought that was so cool. I found it at Pals this month, and I'm like, yep. So, and I had a cute little birdie. There were several ones to choose from. Like there was a cool tree, and then I can't remember what the other two were, but I didn't like them as much. But I decided to go with the little bird. So definitely a fun new bookmark. Plus, I'll never lose my bookmark because it's clipped onto the cover of the book. So that's pretty cool too. Also this month, my friend Dustin from Book Babble, who I'll link his channel down below, kindly sent me a coloring book because I believe it's only available in Canada, and he was able to send it to me, and I'm very excited because you guys know how much I love to color, and it is this Colors of Jane Austen coloring book. It's a coloring love story, and it's full of so many different pictures representing a lot of Jane Austen's novels, including corresponding quotes on the opposing page. So I'm very excited to color in this coloring book, and it's just, look at it, it's just so very cool, and it's going to be a lot of fun to get started in coloring. And then he also sent me another coloring book as a surprise, which is also really awesome, and it is Canada to color, and it is this guy right here, and it's full of a ton of different pictures representative of Canada, and you can like peel them out and I guess and frame them if you want to. So I'm going to look forward to coloring this one as well. So thank you so much, Dustin. I was very excited to get this package, and I cannot wait to get my coloring game on. The next couple of books I picked up this month are because they were part of the BookTube SFF Awards, and I needed to get them read because we're doing a live show in a couple of weeks, and I wasn't going to have time to get them from the library because they all had holes on them, so I decided to purchase them. And the first one of those is Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson, the 5th book in the Mistborn series, and I really like Alloy of Law. I think I actually liked Alloy of Law, which is kind of like the start of the next Mistborn trilogy, but they're all part of the same series, if that makes any sense. I really like Alloy of Law, which takes place 400 years after the first Mistborn trilogy, a lot more than the Mistborn trilogy. So I'm excited to read Shadows of Self and see how the story progresses because I really like these characters. And then the next two that I picked up were two graphic novels that are part of the awards, and they were Saga Volume 1 and Saga Volume 5, and I ended up picking up 1 and 5 because I had to return them to the library, but Volumes 2, 3, and 4 didn't have any holes in them, so I was able to renew them, but I needed to read these two, so I ended up picking up both of these as well. So I have gotten halfway through Saga Volume 1, and I'm really liking the series so far, so who knows, I may end up buying Volumes 2, 3, and 4 as well at some point. So the next book that I picked up is another graphic novel, and I first ran across this on Amazon, and then I ended up seeing it on a couple of people's channels, and I fell more in love with it than I already did when I first saw it on Amazon, and I decided to pick it up this month, and that is Mouthguard, Fall of 1152. I've heard amazing things about this graphic novel series. I believe there's 3 of them out now, and the art is gorgeous. I mean, look at this cover. I love it so much. It's fall, which is my favorite season, by the way. And then if you take the dust jacket off, the hardback cover looks like this, the naked hardback, which I think looks really cool. And then the art in it looks really nice as well. Like, this guy is just a really fantastic and fun artist. So I'm going to be reading this one soon. It's going to be happening either today or tomorrow. I'm going to pick this up. So I'm excited to read it myself and see what I think of it. The next book I picked up was one that caught my eye when I was at Pals the other day, so I decided to give it a shot because the cover looks pretty cool and the story sounded even better. And that is The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. And it features this man who's living in Victorian London, I believe it was 1888, and he returns home to discover this mysterious timepiece on his pillow. But pretty soon this timepiece ends up saving his life twice, and so he kind of sets out to discover who the creator was. This leads him to Japan in the midst of a civil war, and it seems like a really intriguing story. I'm excited to see how this watch was able to save his life, and it seems like it'll be kind of whimsical and magical and historical all at the same time. So it seemed like a fun book, and I thought the cover was pretty fantastic as well. It just looks like a really, really, really cool cover. The next book I picked up is actually a story that I have read, and it is one of my favorite classic stories, but I haven't read it in this edition, which will make sense in a second. A lot of you may be familiar with Beowulf. A lot of us had to read it in high school, but it is one of my favorite pieces of medieval literature. I really find it to be fascinating. I just like reading stuff that old and kind of seeing the world from the perspective of the people who lived it. So this is Tolkien's translation and commentary on the poem, and Beowulf was one of the sagas that kind of influenced a lot of his writing. He's a professor of Old English as well as Norse mythology. So I'm really excited to read it from Tolkien's perspective, see how his translation is similar or different from the other translation that I have read, as well as see what his commentary is. So I've been wanting to pick this one up since I saw it come out, and it came out in paperback recently, and so I decided to pick it up, and I can't wait. Plus the cover is so cool. It's kind of shiny, and it has the dragon on it, and so much love for this book, guys. The next book I picked up is another book in a series that I would like to get all of them at some point. I already have one, and that is Ancient Egypt, Everyday Life in the Land of the Nile. I have Medieval Europe, which is everyday life in the Middle Ages, and I wanted to pick up Ancient Egypt because this is an area of history I also find very fascinating. So it basically depicts not just the historical events of the time period, but also just the everyday life and events of the people who lived during this time. And I find stuff like that interesting. I like learning about historical events, but I also like to learn about how people used to live and what they used to do. I find that to be really, really, really interesting. And they have several in this series. They also have one on the Vikings and one on Greece that I would like to pick up eventually as well. But I decided to go with Egypt for now, and I'm excited to pick this up. I'm hoping to read this one and my medieval one both this year. I need to start the medieval one soon since I've had that one longer. But I wanted to go ahead and get the Egypt one because it was actually on sale on Amazon. And I like reading about history, so very excited for this one. The next book that I picked up is actually one of my favorite fantasy authors. I haven't mentioned him as much on my channel, which I probably should rectify, but I forget that I read his books because I had them on Kindle, and that is Jeff Wheeler, and his book series that I really liked was the Muirwood series, but he started a new series, and I decided to get the first book in that series, and that is Queen's Poisoner, and is part of the King Fountain series. And this story is about an evil King Argentine who's a ruthful tyrant of a king, and one of his dukes ends up betraying him, and he has to send his son Owen to be raised by the king as a hostage. And his son Owen's life will be forfeit if his father steps any more toes out of the line and continues to show his traitorous colors. So the story follows his son Owen as he kind of tries to navigate the court, the politics, the intrigue, as well as trying to win over the king's favor, especially as his father continues to upset the king and his life does become on the line. So it sounds like an intriguing story. I really, really liked his Muirwood series. I'm expecting to enjoy this one. Plus, I find the cover to be gorgeous because you see the dust jacket looks like this and it looks very beautiful. And then you take off the dust jacket and the naked hardback looks like this. It's like this beautiful sunset clouds, and I just think that looks super, super cool. I thought that was really clever. So I'm excited to read this one. Again, I don't know when I'll get to it. I'm hoping I'll get to it relatively soon. It's not very big, actually, and his books are pretty fast paced, so I don't imagine it taking me very long when I do get to it. The next book I picked out is kind of a random one I came across on Amazon, but it seemed pretty intriguing and I haven't heard anybody talking about it, so I thought, what the heck, let's pick it up. And that is The Emperor's Railroad by Guy Halley, and this seems like a very interesting story. It's a fantasy story set in a futuristic dystopian world. A zombie-like apocalypse has destroyed the earth as we know it, but that was 1,000 years ago, and now the world is full of a bunch of different city-states, the war with one another, and nobody leaves these city-states, and anybody who does never comes back. So it seems like an intriguing story. It's also extremely short. It is part of a series. I mean, this is like 150 pages, so this should be a very, very quick, I think maybe even in one sitting read, but it seemed like a fun book and I haven't heard anybody talking about it, so I decided what the heck, and now I have it. So recently I got on Twitter and asked you guys what is a book that you think I should read, and Conrad from Just a Dust Jacket told me that I should read Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and I read the synopsis and it sounded very cool, so I decided to pick it up. I believe this is actually part of a trilogy, so this is only book one. The story is about this place called Area X, which has been cut off from civilization for decades, and basically anytime anybody launches an expedition to this area. Very mysterious things happen and everybody ends up dying. It seems like a very interesting story. It follows the next expedition, which is made up of 4 women, and I've heard it's kind of told in a very interesting fashion, and I can't wait to discover it for myself. It seems very Stephen King-esque almost, the plot. So I don't know, it seems like a fun book, and the cover is really cool, and it's also not very big, so this one will hopefully be happening soon as well, but we shall see, because so many books in so little time. The next book I got this month was from a book box, and that is Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse, and this follows a girl in Amsterdam during World War II, and she's basically trying to work on the black market, trying to sell things on the black market to continue to get enough money to help support her family. But one day this woman approaches her to help her find this young girl who she was hiding, this young Jewish girl who has gone missing, and she ends up agreeing to help her. So it seems like a very, very good story. I like stories set in World War II, but I haven't read very many of them since high school, so I am looking forward to checking this one out as well. Plus, this is another one with a naked hardback, which is very, very cool. It's like the city streets of Amsterdam, so I thought that was pretty interesting as well. The next book I received from a publisher, and it comes out in September, but this cover is awesome and the story sounds fantastic, and that is A Hawkweed Prophecy by Irina Brignol, I think is how you say it. It follows these 2 girls, Poppy and Ember, and Poppy is a young girl, is kind of an outsider. She's being sent from boarding school to boarding school, and Ember is a young witch who kind of doesn't really get along with anybody in her coven, and one day they meet in the woods, and it comes to turn out that they are linked by a mysterious prophecy, and their fates are intertwined with one another, and they try to sustain their friendship through betrayal and through the unfolding of this prophecy. So it seems like a very intriguing story, and the cover is just really, really pretty. It's just such a cool cover. So I need to read this one before September, and that will hopefully be happening sometime this summer. It seems like it'll be a very fun read. The next several books I received from Albert Whitman in exchange for my free and honest review, so hopefully this will happen sometime this summer. I'm thinking these are kind of outside my typical genre. They're contemporary, but they seem like they might be good summer reads, so we'll see. But the first of those is called Girl Last Seen, and this is by Heather Anastasio and Anne Greenwood Brown, and it is about 2 girls who are kind of internet sensations until they have a falling out, and then one day one of them goes missing. So it's like a mystery novel set on the online universe, and it seems like it'll be kind of an intriguing mystery thriller story. The next book is called Dig Too Deep by Amy Algier, and it follows a young character of Liberty who is sent to live with her grandmother in this town in Kentucky. But soon people in the city in this town start to fall sick because of the water, and she's kind of sets out to discover the secrets as to what is going into this water. It has to do with the coal mining plant that is nearby and these secrets that people are trying to keep, and she tries to set out and to put the old wrongs to right and to kind of help the people and protect her grandmother from dying from the sickness and whatever it is that's in the water. So it sounds like, it kind of reminds me of Erin Brockovich, but it seems like it'll be an interesting one to read as well. The next book that they sent me is a children's book, and it is called The Lost Cipher by Michael O'Chelsea, I think is how you might say it, and it follows this camp set in Virginia, and nearby this camp, this man back in like the 1800s buried his lost treasure, but nobody's ever been able to find it. So it follows these kids in this camp. This camp is for kids who have recently lost a parent, and so they're kind of coming together and they're trying to set out to discover this lost treasure together. So it seems like a fun little adventure story. Alright guys, that is it for my May book haul. I got quite a few books this month, so I have my reading cut out for me for a while, but I am excited about quite a bit of them, clearly, which is why I have them. You guys will have to let me know if you've read any of these and what your thoughts are on them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great one. Until my next video, happy reading. Bye!